You have to see it for yourself. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more. Follow me. You have to see it for yourself.
But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear.
You have to see it for yourself.
But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear.
You have to see it for yourself.
But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear.
People love to call themselves a beast. You know, people like to watch movies because Marvel, they love heroes and sheroes, and they love that scene in Gladiator and Braveheart. They love those scenes, you know. People like warriors. And I want to tell you, my sister, there's warrior SOPHIA.
Oh, thank you.
I want to tell you something. You've been in a fight, but you know how to fight. I'm just so happy to have you on. We're here in Las Vegas, in our Las Vegas studio, and when Anthony was telling me he'd book you for the show, I said, it's Terminator time, baby. It's Terminator time. It is Terminator. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Anything
Doing
resonating
well.
with you that you've been listening to?
I loved it when you were talking about the fight. It reminded me of Muhammad Ali. He was a very, very great friend of mine. And the Neo character is actually created from him, being a black superhero for us, a living one at that time, you know, the late Muhammad Ali. Yes. So that's why Will Smith, they wanted Will to play him because, you know, Will played Ali in the movie with Spike Lee's, you know, the Muhammad Ali story.
You know, so listen, obviously the thing that I'm going to enjoy about this conversation with you today is that people talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math, but you embody all those things.
Yes.
All those things. Where does that come from? I mean, you are a living example why STEM is so important. There's so many things that you understand about the cosmos, the universe, about math, about technology, about engineering, and also, because that's what the Matrix is about.
Yes, it is. I came out with the first metaphysical movies, you know, where you take science and you marry it to spirituality. So it's spirit and technology. That's what metaphysics is really about.
But where does it come from in your DNA? Your grandparents?
Well, my grandmother, full-blooded Cherokee, she was a shaman. So the oracle is actually created from me. I created those characters, and it's based on myself as a visionary seer. So I have a gift, but multiple gifts.
So how did you come up with the Terminator? Take us there and the Matrix, and just to put this from pen to pad. Now, it's one thing to have the idea, but to take that.
It's very easy. It was a script in a book. The Terminator is the prequels to, or the beginning of the Matrix. Sarah Connor is actually Neo's mother. So JC, John Connor's Jesus Christ, grows up to be Neo, one and the same in the Matrix. The Matrix is in the future. The Terminator is the past. It's time travel, past, present, and future time travel. It's the second coming of the Christ, the evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. So the machines, the Terminator machines, hear that a child is going to be born that's going to terminate them in the future when they oppress man. Because see, it's a man versus the machine. It's God's children versus man's children, which was technology.
So man versus nature.
Exactly. So the Terminator has to time travel to the past because they know it's Sarah Connor, and they have to kill her, terminate her, so she won't have the baby. And Kyle Reese, he comes from the future to protect her, and he inadvertently gets her pregnant. And he has to go back to the future. And so it's the Immaculate Conception, because now she's pregnant and she fell in love with a man, but did it really happen? Did he exist? And then this child, when you see the three Terminators, the boy, and then the man child, subconsciously, he doesn't know why the Terminator is trying to kill him until he's hidden out in the city, in the Matrix, the future. When he reaches 30 years of age, the rebellion, the Reloaded, revolution starts. And the rebels come and they find him because they've been watching him all along. That's what the Guardians and the Sentinels are all about. And so they wake him up to his purpose. They take him to Morpheus to train him to fight the machines. They take him to the Oracle because of the prophecy. So this is the whole epic story. It's an epic.
And it's some deep stuff. You know what it brings me to? See, you're the best person to ask to explain where we are today. President Trump, the Congress, the seemingly chaos. You look at this entirely different. You see it as a part of a bigger plan that was laid out some time ago.
In the future.
Yes, talk about
It's the
it.
future.
Put it in perspective for us.
Well, the mergings of the corporations. I'm talking about that in 1981 while I'm at USC Film School, where the corporations are going to eat up and merge with the smaller corporations. It's like what they're doing now.
Walmart.
And AT&T,
yeah.
taking Time Warner, and Disney taking Fox, but that's because streaming is coming in. The studio's time has ended. Everything manually has ended. Now, like the ebook, like streaming, you don't have any overhead. You can make trillions and billions of dollars. So you don't need to go to a movie theater and sit there and watch a movie anymore, when you can have all this at your house. And you can watch any movie, and you can watch it 10 or 20 times, and you have surround sound, or Dolby, or whatever you want. So you don't have to go. The theaters will be just a specialty for someone who especially want a date or something and pay $150 to come in and watch a movie of their choice, while they're being wined and dined with food and so forth. But that's all going out, the way it is now, like how we go to it's empty now, all the theaters are. In the studios, they don't understand what streaming is. And this is why Amazon is worth $147 billion, and Netflix is so wealthy, and AT&T is going to be a big streamer also. But they need content. So this is why they bought Time Warner, so they can take this content and feed their clients, their customers. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah, so this is what's going to happen in the future. When the satellites come in, this is when it's going to be trillions of dollars, because the satellites, there's 7 billion people on Earth. The satellites can zoom into all of the countries and get all of these people to watch, what I'm talking about, on their tablets, on their iPhones, iPads. You know what I'm talking about?
So why because this plays into why this sudden mental change on Facebook. Where is Facebook now a threat where they need to regulate them and shut them down?
Facebook is nothing but a database for the CIA. That's all it is. It has all of your family's pictures, all of your friends. It has all the information. They used it here in Vegas when they had that car accident. Remember when the Maserati right by the Cromwell?
Yes,
when that happened right there? Well, all they did was take camera footage from Caesars, Bally's, and other casinos, and they went and they took this footage and they got the license plates, and then they saw that the guy did, California. He rented that Range Rover, and after they did that, they went to social network and they found his girlfriend on Twitter, and they found his picture, and then they went to LA because they knew they were from LA, put his picture on a $250,000 billboard and put a reward up for him for $25,000, and they got him within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, because of the technology.
So how should we, How do you advise people to share their image,
Well,
their data?
there's not going to be any more privacy. Everything is cameraed down. Everything is caught on camera. And this is what it's going to be about in the future. Virtual reality that I'm explaining in The Matrix and Terminator. Everything is going to be, so now it's going to be so easy. You're not going to have any more paper passports. It's just going to be where you come into the airport, they're going to scan you, your body, retinal, fingerprints, the whole 9 yards.
This is what clears about it. Right
That's
at the
right.
airport, that's what
And
clears, yeah.
this way, nobody has to alter paper and put a picture or a name on there because they have your bone structure, they have your eyes, they got your fingerprints. This is the database, and they match you up. You see what I'm saying? And you go through. So that way no terrorists can come through and pretend to be somebody or somebody that they're looking for that's the most wanted. You see what I'm saying? Because all of this technology is going to start ruling. It's artificial intelligence. It's going to start ruling everything. Once the satellites come into play that I'm talking about, there's maybe another 5 to 10 years from now, they're really going to play a phenomenal part. Because this is why Apple and Microsoft became the billion-dollar, trillion-dollar babies, is because IBM and Xerox didn't know what a mouse was. A mouse meaning they didn't know what the internet was going to be. You see what I'm talking about? They didn't want to move into that technology. The studios don't know what streaming is. They got pissed off because Netflix paid $50 million and got 3 or 4 Oscars for the movie Roma. But it was never shown in the movie theaters at all. It was watched.
And that's why Steven Spielberg and all of it. You know, when we come back,
Yes.
I'm going to have some of my crew to join you, my technical people, the
to ask-
superhero. We mentioned when you were coming on your lawsuits and the battles you've had to fight, and you've just won in Utah.
Yes.
But it's always a battle for you.
Well, the reason why it's always a battle for me is because the government refuses to protect my copyrights. You know, I own the copyrights to all the derivative movies, both franchises I own. It was adjudicated in Utah September the 25th, 2014. So why am I still with a RICO case here in Nevada, which I just won, but they're still trying to fix it so they can continue to use the stolen money, which is untraceable, and it's all linked to Hillary Clinton's foundation and money laundering.
Do you consider yourself politically neutral?
I consider myself totally neutral. All I'm worried about is for the people. Because if the government doesn't protect my copyrights, he doesn't protect yours.
But the government is afraid of you. I'd be afraid of you.
Well, there's no need to be afraid of me because I only stand for principles.
But what you know and the knowledge you share and what you have insights to can be very dangerous to some people.
Yes, but my job is to come here and waken people. That's what the Matrix is about, to wake you up from the Matrix, to get you out of the illusions and the lies and the ignorance. So it's not dangerous for me because that's my job. That's what I came here to do. That's why I wrote The Matrix and Terminator, to wake people up so they can move on to greater, better things.
Yeah, but a lot of these movie houses and these studios and the Facebooks of the world don't want people to know what happens to them every day when they share the information.
But that's destroying their free will,
But
and
do you
God
think-
doesn't want that.
But people want to be ignorant. They don't want to know that they're being exploited. It requires too much responsibility when they find out.
Well, that's what the blue pill and the red pill is about. The red pill is about the blood of the living beings. The black and the blue ink is the machines. But this is the humans' world. We are the winners. They are the losers. So people need to exert their free will regardless of what anybody wants.
So what are the unintended consequences of all this that we're talking about?
Their people's consciousness will shift and they will go on to create and do better things. They won't be in bondage. And this is the whole purpose of the Matrix and Terminator and the new work that's coming, Matrix 4. It's a Matrix 4 book is out. It's been selling for 9 years, since 2010, around the entire globe. People have to wake up and shift their consciousness so they can create, so they can build. Because you can't stay in the past. Everything must change. right?
One of the things in the 1 minute that we have left, if you don't remember anything else about the broadcast today, is this: you're not as free as you think you are. You're in bondage in more ways than you imagine, and it's a different kind of slavery, very dangerous kind of slavery, that the mind and how we conceit ourselves of people without any thoughts, any challenge, and we're so willing to surrender. Freedom comes with a price. It takes as much to maintain it as it did to establish it. It's not really free, and it's not for the faint of heart.
But man is always going to take that challenge because man wants to be free. Look, everybody loved the Matrix and Terminator because it woke them up. They didn't even realize they were in the dream. They didn't realize they were in a simulation. They didn't realize they were in the illusions. But now that they are awakened, they will fight.
Will you fight? Are you awakened? Are you ready to embrace your destiny? Because freedom comes from God, not from man. And the moment you realize that, you'll begin that journey of freedom. Thank you so much.
I want to say one thing. Like Morpheus said, I didn't tell you it was going to be easy.
But it will be fair if you fight the fight.
That's right.
You can equal the battlefield.